Have you taken a Boy Scout to Chick-fil-A yet? Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. And Matt, you recently wrote an article about ticking off the liberals by taking a Boy Scout to Chick-fil-A. It was published in WorldNet Daily. It was a fascinating, funny article, but it was very pointed to this issue of the harassment, the bigotry that is being waged against Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that liberals hate worse than Chick-fil-A is a 12-year-old, quote, morally straight young man who is seeking to achieve integrity and merit in his life. Of course, we know that the left hates the Boy Scouts because they have taken a firm stand on the heels, certainly, of the Penn State scandal with Jerry Sandusky abusing homosexually abusing all of these young boys. They have reaffirmed their stance prohibiting men who live a homosexual lifestyle from being scoutmasters. They didn't expressly say that was weighed in on their decision. I don't see how I think it probably clearly did. However, going back to the Chick-fil-A thing, though, this past Wednesday, we had a Chick-fil-A Appreciation Day organized by Mike Huckabee. I suggested that if you really want to tick off a liberal, bring a Boy Scout to Chick-fil-A, and I know that hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of Americans, to show their support for natural marriage for Chick-fil-A, went and spent their hard-earned money at Chick-fil-A. Me and my family certainly did.
Well, you can go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org, and sign the petition in support of Chick-fil-A. This petition will actually be sent to Chick-fil-A to encourage them. And also it'll be sent to some of these mayors who have made stupid comments. Some of them, most recently, the mayor of the District of Columbia tweeted that Chick-fil-A is, quote, hate chicken. I mean, this is startling that a biblically based company that closes on Sunday, that believes in natural marriage of the union of one man and one woman, is now called hate chicken by a politician. And the mayor of Boston, Tom Menino, said, quote, I was angry to learn on the heels of your prejudiced statements, referring to Dan Cathy, the president of Chick-fil-A, about your search for a site to locate in Boston. There is no place for discrimination on Boston's Freedom Trail and no place for your company alongside it. When Massachusetts became the first state in the country to recognize equal marriage rights, I personally stood on City Hall Plaza to greet some same-sex couples coming here to be married. It would be an insult to them and to our city's long history of expanding freedom to have a Chick-fil-A across the street from that spot. That's just jaw-dropping language. It's just astounding that a government official, a mayor of Boston, would make those kind of statements.
Well, first of all, the irony is palpable that here he is talking about freedom, but we're going to keep Chick-fil-A, who happens to share the values of a majority of morally minded people who recognize the reality, the inherent reality that marriage is between a male, female, a man, and a woman, and that so-called same-sex marriage is a counterfeit. That's just a reality, and every state that's had a chance to affirm that in its constitution through ballot initiative has. 31 states have voted to do so. So he is completely out of touch. He's arrogant. And for him to be talking about freedom while talking about unconstitutionally prohibiting Chick-fil-A from setting up shop in Boston, that is totalitarian. It's unconstitutional. It borders on criminal.
And Dan Cathy, when he was interviewed, he said that he believes in the biblical definition of marriage as the union of one man and one woman. He says that it's a family-owned, family-run business, Chick-fil-A, and it ultimately, the leaders of Chick-fil-A, the Cathy family, they're married to their first wives, so they've had one wife, and they thank God for that. That's not a hateful statement. For the mayor of D.C. to call it hateful, and for the mayor of Boston to say, if you hold those beliefs, that marriage is the union of one man and one woman, then you can't even do business in my city? I mean, that should recall a time when Hitler ultimately stigmatized the Jews to a point where they couldn't even work, took away their right to work. Because of your belief, you can't work in the city of Boston. And as shocking as that is, that also is what happened in Chicago, where the alderman Joe Marino said that if you're discriminating against a segment of the community, which he considers that apparently discrimination, I don't want you in the first ward. And in Chicago, the aldermen of that particular ward are deferred to as to whether or not they're going to allow a business to operate. So he probably has the clout to stop Chick-fil-A from coming there, or at least giving them a very rough time.
And he's setting himself up for a lawsuit if he does so. Again, that's a violation of the First Amendment, clearly unconstitutional. But this just goes to show I'm kind of glad this is happening, because it's for all America now to see what we've been saying all along. The homo-fascist left, they are the anti-Christian bigotry is spiking to a level I don't recall in recent decades. It's becoming systemic within the establishment, the progressive establishment, if you will, and America is sitting back going, "Whoa! I can't believe what we're seeing here." They're really showing their true colors. The left. I hope they keep it up. They're overplaying their hand in a big way, and I think America is finally waking up to the reality that the homosexual movement is a threat to liberty.
I hope, in fact, that's the case. Mayor Rahm Emanuel of Chicago also said that Chick-fil-A's values are not the values of Chicago. I mean, it's astounding. You've got the mayor of Chicago, the mayor of Boston, the mayor of the District of Columbia. You've got the mayor of San Francisco saying the same thing. These are extreme comments. And I wrote in my Liberator article that will come out later this year, in the lead article of the Liberator, about how this issue is not isolated. It may be something new to you. You may not have actually heard of this kind of level of vitriolic pushback, but this happens all the time. This is just one of the most visible manifestations of the radical leftist homosexual agenda to silence people that disagree with them. But it is going on all the time. We've seen it all around the country, and this is just a new manifestation that is largely picked up by the media, but it happens all the time. So I hope, in fact, that this media attention here to Chick-fil-A, because they believe in marriage as one man and one woman, ultimately does wake up people. And in fact, if they don't wake up now after this, they're going to have to ultimately forever hold their peace, because the homosexual agenda is out to silence and ultimately not only silence you, but also prohibit you from even employment or operating a business if you don't agree with their same-sex agenda. And
it's only going to get worse. Left-wing extremists within the Democrat Party, for instance, have taken over, have gotten a hold of it, and we're going to talk about this, I know, tomorrow, are supporting, are endorsing same-sex marriage in the Democratic Party platform. So it's only going to get worse from here.
Well, Rena Linda-Voltson wrote a book. It's called The Lisa Miller Story, Only One Mommy, A Woman's Battle for Her Life, Her Daughter, and Her Freedom. It's a book that we published through New Revolution Publishers. Rena, of course, is a special counsel for Liberty Counsel. She is the associate dean at Liberty University School of Law. But this particular book is a good book regarding the life of Lisa Miller and the struggle that she encountered when she ultimately left the lesbian lifestyle. It's the book called Only One Mommy. You can call Liberty Counsel at 1-800-671-1776 or go to lc.org today. And go to the website, lc.org, and sign the petition in support of Chick-fil-A. Tens of thousands of people have done so already. Go right there, the very first page, lc.org. You'll see the 3 cows, and it says, "Don't be chicken, support Chick-fil-A." And you can click on that. It'll take you right to the petition. Sign your name, forward that on to your friends, put it on your Facebook as well. We want many, many people to show support for Chick-fil-A.
And this whole Chick-fil-A debacle kind of underscores really the title of your book that you wrote on the subject of same-sex marriage, putting every household at risk. Here we are witnessing firsthand some of what you address in that book, that the intolerant left will not stop until those who support natural marriage are absolutely silenced.
And in that book, Matt, I've got a chapter that deals with the attempt to silence people. And in fact, you're seeing this here with Chick-fil-A. As Matt says, it's time to wake up. This is an illustration of what's happening. This is not an isolated incident. This is not unusual. This is continuation of what we see all over the country. It's just the most visible. Get informed and wake up and do something about it. You can get Liberty Counsel's material by going to our website. Ask for Rena Linda-Voltson's book, Only One Mommy, the Lisa Miller Story. You can also sign the Chick-fil-A petition right there on the website. Make sure you forward that to your friends. Put it on Facebook. We want tens of thousands and thousands of people across the country to take a stand for Chick-fil-A and for marriage.